the Bishop of Troyes was such that when the Huns appeared in the neighborhood, everyone turned to him for protection. The town had just been sacked once by the Vandals, and Attila's Huns were reputed to be even less amicable. Bishop Lupus first sent a deacon and 7 clerks to propitiate the enemy, but an unlucky accident caused the mission to miscarry. The cleric's white vestments made Attila's horse rear. Concluding that his visitors were magicians, the Hun chieftain had them slain on the spot, one young clerk escaping to tell the tale. Attila then went off to fight the Romans, Goths, Burgundians, and Franks, who momentarily stopped fighting among themselves to take him on. Beaten, though not badly, Attila returned eastward, with Troyes directly in his path. It was an ominous moment, and once more everyone turned to Bishop Lupus. This time Lupus negotiated in person, and he scored a surprising success. Attila spared Troyes, and, taking the bishop with him as far as the Rhine, sent him home laden with honors. For this diplomatic feat Lupus was first denounced as a collaborator and exiled, but later, on sober second thought, restored to his see, to be eventually canonized as Saint Loup. By the end of the 5th century, the western half of the Roman Empire had slid into chaos. Nearly all the cities, old and new, large and small, declined catastrophically. People borrowed stones and bricks from public monuments to patch up their houses and strengthen walls against hordes of unwelcome immigrants. Commerce, already slowed down by a long drawn-out, deeply rooted agricultural crisis, was nearly brought to a halt by the turmoil of the great migrations or invasions from the north and east. Towns like Troyes remained stunted, half military, half rural. Apart from crude ecclesiastical buildings, Bishop's Palace, Basilica Cathedral, the Abbey, and a couple of priories, the walls of Troyes enclosed only a few score hovels. Most of the town's 40-acre area was given over to vineyards, vegetable gardens, and pasturage. Yet the marauding barbarians did contribute something to the growth of such settlements. After pillaging a Roman province, they set up a headquarters that generally metamorphosed into a petty capital. Reims, north of Troyes, became the capital of the Franks, and Troyes a Frankish subcapital of Champagne. The Franks' chief Clovis, hardly less truculent a fellow than Attila, was more completely vanquished by Saint-Remy, Bishop of Reims, than Attila had been by Saint Loup of Troyes. As Saint-Remy eloquently narrated the story of Jesus' martyrdom, Clovis exclaimed, "If only I'd been there at the head of my valiant Franks." Clovis received baptism, and all his valiant Franks promptly did likewise. In the 6th and 7th centuries, a new ecclesiastical source of cities appeared, the Benedictine monastery. The institution spread rapidly, establishing itself sometimes in towns, sometimes in open country, and immediately attracting craftsmen, farmers, and traders. In the Bavarian forest appeared Monkstown, Munich. In Flanders, a Benedictine abbey built at the point where the river Aar becomes navigable formed the nucleus of the future manufacturing city of Saint-Omer. On the Mediterranean littoral, many of the old Roman cities did business in the Dark Ages much as they had done under the Empire. Marseille, Toulon, Arles, Avignon, and other Provençal ports continued active commerce with the eastern Mediterranean. They imported papyrus and spices, for which the Benedictine monasteries helped provide a market. As a return cargo, the Provençal ships often carried slaves. This state of affairs came to an end in the 17th century. The electrifying military successes of the followers of Mohammed in the Near East and North Africa were accompanied by a major dislocation of Mediterranean trade. Modern scholars have modified Henri Pirren's thesis on the causal connection between Mohammed and the Dark Ages, pointing out other influences at work. But it is fact that as Muslim fleets appeared in the western and central Mediterranean, the old Roman Christian trading cities were thrown on the defensive and were frequently raided and pillaged.